Hello, good morning, friends. Now, I would like to discuss the last unit of your syllabus, Banking and Financial Services, a specialization in finance in for third semester. The unit 6 titled as Mutual Funds, but it covers three different aspects of non-banking financial activities. One is mutual fund services. Second one is the depository system, and the third one is factoring activities. Three different aspects are covered, so it is a lengthy syllabus actually. It is titled as mutual funds, but there are two other additional things are involved in it. Two additional things are involved in it. We will see each one in detail. The mutual fund aspect covers the structure, functions, types of mutual funds, then performance of mutual funds, and regulations relating to mutual funds. So this is the topic covering the mutual fund activities, right from the concept of mutual fund till the regulations of the mutual fund activities are covered in this model. And the second aspect of this model is depository system, objectives, working of depository system and activities of depository system. And as a part of depository system, we will study NSDL and CDSL, the process of clearing and settlement activities, how depository system is being carried out. And the last will be factoring and forfeiting. That covers definitions, functions, types, securitization, meaning, process, types, benefits, etc. So now we will focus on the first lecture in considering the structure, functions, and advantages and disadvantages of mutual fund. What mutual fund is, and what is the structure of the mutual fund, what are the functions of the mutual fund, and advantages and disadvantages of mutual fund in lecture series 1. So let us understand what a mutual fund is. As all of you know, mutual fund is a type of investment option to the investors where the investors can invest money through mutual funds in stock markets. I would like to give an example how mutual fund is and how stock market is. Suppose you have a car and you want to travel from Belgaum to Mumbai with your own car. So you ride your own car on the roads, and you have a full knowledge of driving, and you have every idea of where to stop, in what speed you have to move, and what are the traffic rules that you need to follow. Every knowledge is with you. So you ride a car from Belgaum to Mumbai. Any kinds of problem arises relating to vehicle, you are supposed to repair it, you have supposed to fuel it, you are supposed to maintain the car, maintain your balance, and take all the risk of driving and reach Mumbai. And you have another option that if you don't know how to ride a car and if you don't have your own car, so what you can do is you can hire a taxi, or you can sit in a bus. So the bus driver or a taxi driver will drive for you, and you are just sit inside comfortably and enjoy the journey without taking any risk of accidents, any risk of what you call as a road related traffics, or you need not require to take any kind of thing. So you can reach Mumbai safely without any tension. So the mutual fund and stock market is like that. If you are having your own car and driving it from Belgaum to Mumbai, it is nothing but investing directly in the stock markets. So the investor, as a investor, you have whole knowledge of the stock market and you are likely to invest money in the stock markets. And you have all the knowledges, pros and cons of the stock market and activities. Therefore, you take a decision of investing as per the requirements and make a profit out of it. And there is a loss also if your decision goes wrong in investment proposals. On the other hand, mutual fund is nothing but sitting in a bus where the bus driver will take all the risk of driving and he will take you to the destiny and you can reach the destiny. So in this case, you need not require to bother about the traffic problems, or in which road you have to take, route of the route. Everything is just you are switching off. You are not responsible for all that, and you will just enjoy the trip. In mutual fund is just like a sitting in the bus. So the investor does not invest directly in the stock market, but he will invest through mutual funds. Mutual funds are the agencies who collect the money, pools from the different these things, and invest money in there. So in both the cases, whether you are taking your own car that is directly investing in the stock market, or whether you are going through a bus, you are prone to get an accident. So the risk is there in both the cases. But the risk in mutual fund is less as compared to risk in driving your own car. Because in case of your own car, you have full flexibility wherever you want to stop, where in whatever the speed you can move, in any way you can take a decision to reach the destiny. So that flexibility is there with you in your own car driving from Belgium to Pune. But in bus, you don't have your own what do you call it, decision relating to the speed, decision relating to stopping the vehicle in between, and flexibility. But you will be safely reaching the destiny. But in both the cases, there is a chance of accident. In case in the stock market also, there is a chance that the scrip price may fall down and your investment may go down, and you are likely to get the whole risk. But in bus driving also, there is a chance that the bus may have an accident if the driver makes a mistake. So all these risks are there, but the risk, quantum of the risk in the bus driving, in the bus driving is less than your own vehicle driving. Because in your own vehicle driving, you are personally involved in all that. Your personal skill plays more important role. But in a bus, you are not supposed to do anything. So you can have little safety as compared to bus driving. Like that, in mutual funds, the investors are little bit safe to the market risks, and it will be taken care by the bus driver. That is how the mutual fund activity works. So what is a mutual fund? We will understand the basic concepts of this mutual fund. A mutual fund is a trust that pools the savings of number of investors who share the common financial goal. That is, mutual fund is a trust that pools the mutual fund is like a trust. So every investor becomes the what you call as a part of the trust and member of the trust, and he will invest money of that particular portion, whatever the quantum of ability that he has. He can invest money. That invested money will be pooled together from, like you and me. When you are investing in mutual fund, the mutual fund agency will pool together all that money. The money thus collected is then invested in the capital market, that is in the stock market instruments such as shares, debentures, and other securities. The income earned through these investments and the capital appreciation realized are shared by its unit holders in proportion to the number of units owned by them. And when this investment, pool investment, is made by the mutual fund agency out of the collected money of the trust members, it generates income in the stock market. The share price will appreciate. There will be interest on the debentures. There will be appreciation, sort of capital gain when the shares are sold and all that. So the mutual fund agency will collect this income and divides this income among the members. And remember, mutual fund agency does not distribute the 100% of the money that is earned in the form of a dividend, income, capital gain, like that, to all the members. It will keep away certain money with it as a asset, as a service charges. So more than 3 to 4%, or sometimes even up to 6 7% also, it will withheld that money, and remaining portion will be shared among the members. So what the gains that are being taken away by the investors in mutual fund are less as compared to the people investing directly in the stock market. And in the same way, The expertise knowledge of the mutual fund agencies in which script the money has to be invested is taken out by paying the service cost. So that's why mutual funds are more safe as compared to individual investments. So this is what the concept of mutual fund. Mutual means collectively, fund means collectively gained fund, which is collected by the mutual fund agency from the individuals, is invested in the stock market, and the return connecting out of that will be distributed among the members, taking out the some portion of mutual fund agency as the service charges, what you call it, management management charges. So if you see the mutual fund operations, there are what you call as many kinds of activities happening out. There is an investor who pools their money in a pooled investing way, and that when the pool of that investors is made, collectively fund is raised, there will be an establishment of fund. This fund is invested in securities, and securities generates returns, and return is distributed among the members. So this whole activity is taken care by a separate agency called mutual fund agency. Now you have many mutual fund agencies available in the market, like you have SBI mutual fund, that is State Bank of India mutual fund, a separate unit, a private limited unit of the State Bank of India, a separate setup. You have HDFC, HDFC mutual fund, Housing Development Financial Corporation of India. You have ICICI mutual fund. So you have Tata mutual fund. You have Birla mutual fund. You have Kotak Mahindra mutual fund. Like that, there are a lot of mutual fund agencies, organizations established in India to pool the funds of the investors and invest in the stock markets. So these mutual funds create capital for stock markets, and stock market is a supplier of finance for the industries, and because of that the trade and commerce of industries are growing out. So mutual fund is a indirectly helping the investors to invest money in the stock markets. Those who don't have the stock market knowledge normally invest money through mutual funds. Structure of the mutual fund organization. Mutual fund organization of mutual fund, if you see, mutual fund is not a one single unit or one single organization. It is a cluster of various types of organizations involved which are controlling each other. So mutual fund is totally a system which works independently with the sub organizations, and provide services to the mutual fund investors. So there are two aspects come into picture. The unit holder here, unit holder is the individual investor, and there is a SEBI, a regulating organization, that is Securities Exchange Board of India comes into picture. It is going to control the whole activity of the system, mutual fund system. So SEBI is protecting the interest of the unit holders where no fraudulent activity place will take place. So there are various kinds of associations or organizations integratedly work in the mutual fund system. So there is a person called a sponsorer. Sponsor is normally the financial institution having an exposure, floats an idea of what you call as investment options to the unit holders. The unit holders are the investors who invest money with the sponsor. The sponsor may be financial institution like HDFC or SBI, something like that. These sponsorer is supported with different kinds of other organizations. Sponsorer will be having a trustee. Trustee is the group of the experts who assist the sponsors in collecting the money and keeping the money under a trust. So when the collected money is made by the sponsor, it will be having a trustee. The trustee is the person who is a group of persons who will take care of the funds, and they are going to protect the interest of the unit holders, and they are under this control of the SEBI, because SEBI gives the guidelines for establishing the trust by the sponsor. When the trust is created, the mutual fund is transferred from the sponsor to the trustee, and it will be kept in the custody, the collected money in the custody of the custodian. Custodian is another group of people who keeps the money of the investors, unit holders, through a trust, and the custodian will uh, invest money through a transfer agent is one who is going to transfer the money from this AMC to this. There is one more called as asset management company. Asset management company is a particularly a group of company who receives money from the transfer from the sponsor, that is from the trustee and all that sponsor, and that money is directly invested in this asset management company. Asset management company is one who receives the money of the investments and uses it for the production activity or something like that. So the asset management companies, there are number of asset management companies in which the sponsor is investing money through the trustee or the custodian. So the custodian's job is to maintain the what you call as uh, custody of the funds and supply it to the AMC frequently, and AMC is going to earn the money, and earned returns will be again used to, we have other people called accountants and all that, they keep the stock of the records of the investors, and money is distributed to the investors. So there are various parties involved in the activity of mutual fund. We'll see each one of them in detail. See, we have a sponsor. Sponsor is the promoter of the mutual fund. The sponsor brings in capital and creates the mutual fund trust and sets up the AMC, asset management company. The sponsor uh, makes an application for registration of the mutual fund and contributes at least 40% of the net worth of the AMC. Say, for example, if you have HDFC as a mutual fund, HDFC becomes a sponsor. So what he will do is HDFC will create the asset management company and registers itself as the mutual fund agency. To register for mutual fund agency, the sponsoring organization like HDFC should invest at least 40% of the net worth of the asset management. Say, for example, for asset management company, we require 1000 crores or 100 crores. 40 crores will be the investment made by the the mutual fund agency, and asset management company is established. So asset management company is the one which collects the investments from the uh, pulls out the investments from the investors and uses it for investing in the stock market. Through asset management company, investments are made in the stock markets like in shares, debentures, bonds, like that. So the sponsor is taking a more responsibility of collecting money and investing money in a particular thing. So the sponsor creates a what you call as confidence in the investor's mind, providing the data, statistical data of the growth of investments that are being already made with him, and attracts the investors to invest more money there. Among other requirements, if it is sponsored, has to satisfy certain requirement. One is the sponsor must be a financial, having a track record in the financial services, at least 5 years. Among the other requirements, the sponsor should also have a 5 year record in the financial services business and should have made a profit in at least 3 out of 5 years. The sponsors could be a bank, a corporate, or a financial institution. Sponsor maybe a bank, maybe a non-banking financial organization, or maybe a corporate or any kind of financial institution. They can take this thing, but they should have 5 years of track record. Out of that 3 years, they should have made a profit. It means that the sponsor's health is more important in protecting the interest of the investors. That is why SEBI has kept a guidelines that the sponsor should have at least 5 years of financial track records. He should have served in the financial services, like as a bank or as a corporation or as any kinds of financial institution. Now the trustee is a committee appointed by the uh, sponsors mutual fund by seeking the approval of the SEBI. Once the sponsor is established, he will appoint a trust. Trustee is a committee appointed by the sponsors, means the members are created by this sponsor mutual fund by seeking approval of the Securities Board of the Exchange Board of India. Security will give the certification for the trustee, and trustee should have the members. The trustee is trustee in in order to protect the interest of the investors, work on behalf of the work on behalf of the investors. They work independently and watch whether the mutual fund working as per the guidelines of the SEBI. So trust is a what you call as a security body which protect the interest of the investors and give guidelines to the sponsors wherever there is a problem with investments. So they are the representatives of the mutual fund investors to protect the interest of the mutual fund. So what are the guarantees that trust is giving as per the guidelines of the SEBI? So assets are fairly valued. Assets are invested only in the specific marketable securities, because sometimes what happens, sponsors may collect the money but may not invest in the shares and all that. They may utilize in their own business. Some chances are there. So trust will take care that the invested pooled money will be utilized for the purpose for which it is collected. Say assets are invested only in the specified marketable securities. This encompasses approving written policies, internal rules, regulations, and procedures, and hiring the compensation of the fund's executive team. It means that this trust is maintaining total interest of the investors. So it insists the sponsors to prepare the written document of the mutual funds, issue it to the investors, and see the investors' interests are protected. The process by which the fund disclosure is made to the unit holders, as and when the unit holders fund value should be disclosed, trust insists the sponsors to prepare it and submit it to the investors. So in total, trust is an independent body which is appointed by the sponsors, which is approved by the SEBI, which tries to protect the interest of the shareholder in investors. So investors will come across only the sponsoring organization, but inside the sponsoring organization there is a independent body working as a trustee. Trustee is a group of experts who are giving advices to the sponsors to protect the interest of the investors. So in order to protect the investors, trustee is compulsory to be appointed by the sponsors. And now there is a one more party called a custodian. Who is the custodian? Mutual fund custodians work with the mutual funds through third party arrangements. Since a mutual fund is essentially a large pool funds from many different investors, it requires an additional entity to hold and safeguard the securities that are mutually owned by all the funds investors. Mutual fund custodians can offer a broad range of services. Typical offerings include fund accounting, administration, legal compliance, and tax services. Mutual fund custodians also work with the transfer agents to provide their own transfer agency services to maintain records of the shareholders, transactions, and balances. Mutual funds typically outsource most of their back office operations custodians for cost efficiency and convenience. Mutual fund administration and accounting are important aspects of a mutual fund's operations. Fund accountants are responsible for calculating daily and fund and net asset value. So here custodian is another outsourced activity in organization where the sponsor appoints them and takes the help. So the custodian is the main meaning itself is like a organization which keep the custody of the records of all the mutual fund investors. How many mutual funds people have invested, what is the total pool fund, and it maintains the records of the values of the units allotted to the mutual fund investors and the market value, and they regularly come out with the mutual fund statements of accounts, and that statement of account is regularly communicated to the investors. So all that, so the custodians will take whole care of managing the records, investments and all that, and custodians are in touch with this transfer agents. Transfer agents are those who convert that mutual fund into stock market investment proposals. So they are the agent middleman. We have asset managing company. An asset managing company is the firm that invests pooled funds from clients, capital uh, putting the capital to work through different investments, including stock, bonds, real estate, master limited partnerships, and more, along with a high net worth individual portfolios. Asset management companies manage hedge funds and pension funds, and to better serve smaller investors, create a pooled structure such as mutual funds, index funds, or exchange traded funds, which they can manage in a single centralized portfolio. So, asset management company is the one who develops the investment proposals to the mutual fund investors. What is that? The instruments that it is being covered. See, all the money collected from mutual funds are invested in stock markets, and money is earned. In the stock market, there are various options to invest. Either you can invest in equity fund, or you can invest in debt funds, or you can combine both, called as a hybrid funds, and you have options to invest in government bonds, securities and all that. So depending on the needs of the investors, for what purpose the investors are investing money, because some mutual fund investors are interested to take the pension benefit, that is why they are investing regularly from the age of 20 till the age of retirement. They invest every year, every month, and the pooled money will be utilized to satisfy the objective. The asset management company will take into consideration such kind of pension funds, and it tries to invest in such a kind of investment proposal where after the retirement the good amount of return will come to the investors. So that it is taken care of. Interest to protect. So asset management company guides the investments where that investment should go in the stock market to satisfy the specific objective. There are some investors in mutual funds, they want to take mutual funds for their children education purpose. They want to safeguard the children education fund. They wanted a return after several years. They invest money for several years. After the particular age of their children, they want to get the education support. In that case, return has to happen. So taking into consideration the requirements of the mutual fund investors, asset management company is going to manage the funds of that mutual fund agency, mutual fund investors, and protect their investors with this by rooting out the investments in the stock market. So they are the rooters. They decide the route of the investments to in that particular thing, and they come out with the investment instruments, like they develop education mutual fund related, pension related fund mutual funds, or related. Some people don't want to invest for a long time. They want to withdraw money after some time. Instead of keeping money in the savings bank account, they want to take the money, invest money in mutual funds. So that is called a liquid fund. So always this mutual fund gives a good benefit more than the bank returns. That is why people will invest money in mutual funds rather than keeping money idle in the savings bank. So for them, liquid funds are developed. So all these instruments are developed by this asset managing company. Now we have transfer agents. A mutual fund transfer agent promotes both the transfer agent and registrar functions. They do two functions, transfer and registrar. Mutual fund transfer agents maintain records of the shareholders' accounts. They maintain the shareholders' account, calculate the disburse dividends. So they work on the other end. there are two parties actually in mutual fund, the mutual fund investors and the stock market. Transfer agents are the people who connect these two. They gather the pooled fund from the asset managing companies and they transfer it to the stock market, and they maintain the records of the stock market activities, where the money is invested, how much dividend is collected, and how much where the when the security is sold, what is the capital gain is collected. All that record is maintained by these transfer agents. So transfer agents are the agents who transfer the funds of the mutual fund investors to the stock markets. They invest directly money in the different companies in the stock markets in different options like liquid equity options, debt bonds, or something like that. So these transfer agents provide the services to the mutual fund organizations. And these are the different parties in the mutual fund activity. So mutual fund is a cluster activity, is not done by a single person. When you say HDFC is a mutual fund company, so it is a sponsor. It comes out with the investment options, and that is being supported with the help of trustees, mutual custodians, transfer agents, asset managing company, like that. They have their own separate set of sub organizations which are happening. Each sub organization is given the guidelines by SEBI. Therefore the mutual fund agencies cannot make any fraudulent activities. All their activities are supported by the sub sets like trustee, the AMC, the transfer agents, the custodians, like that. So there is a less chance of fraudulent activities in the field of mutual fund organization activities. So this is regarding the uh, parties involved in that. Now we will see the functions of the mutual funds. What are the basic functions of the mutual fund? The mutual fund agency trade on behalf of the unit holders. It is giving the services to the small unit investors. Say for example, if the investment pool is in crores together, each person investing will get a benefit in that. So the big pool of investment will be a big unit. They can directly invest in some companies or in venture capitals and all that. So they come out with the investment proposals. So the basic function is to trade on behalf of the unit holders. They are working on behalf of the unit holders. So mutual funds are the agent middleman between the small investors and the stock market activities. Second one is it offers an opportunity to small investors to invest in the stock exchange markets with a reduced risk. It is going to reduce the risk of the investors because the perfect decision of investment is made by the mutual fund agencies, because mutual fund agencies are having experts or knowledgeable people in the field of stock market. So they try to invest money in those securities which are having a high returns and try to protect the interest of these investors by providing them good returns, and reduces the risk because mutual fund investors are reduced from the market risks. They are in some cases assured returns are also given, and the fixed amount of returns they will get. So portfolio of investments in equity, debentures, and debt bonds options. So mutual funds, another function is to channelize the pooled investments of the unit holders and investing money in the market. Then issues a certificate of investors to investors explaining the units collected. So it issues the certificate to the investors, because share certificates are not given directly to the investors, because investment in shares is not made by the mutual fund unit holders or the investors. It is made by the asset managing company. So asset managing company will hold that particular share certificates in the name of asset managing company, but each unit holder invested in mutual funds are given the mutual fund certificate by the sponsors, by the sponsoring organization. Like HDFC gives you the bond saying that you have invested in mutual funds, but this bond is a guarantee bond given by the HDFC, but not by the stock exchange companies where the money is invested. So that is how It provides us services of providing the legal requirements, documents, and all that to the investors and keep them safe from the market fluctuations. Fund is managed by the experienced and fund managers, which reduces the risk of loss. So, on behalf of the small investors, that the invest expertise people are involved in investing the money in the stock market, and reduces the loss. But don't believe that investors in the stock markets are totally free from any risks. So in a mutual fund bonds itself, it is mentioned that mutual fund investments are subject to market risk. What is that market risk? Suppose if the economy collapses, some problem happens in the industrial sector and returns are very less. So the same loss will be transferred from these mutual fund sponsors to the investors. But normally this does not happen, because mutual fund agencies will take optimum care that the interest of the investors is protected, security is provided, and they study the market and then they invest. So that risk is less as compared to directly investing money by the investors in the stock market, in the equity shares and all that. So this is basic functions which is being performed by the mutual fund organizations. What are the advantages of mutual fund? Why we should investors should go for mutual fund? Because of certain advantages. The basic advantages is advanced portfolio management. Mutual fund helps for advanced portfolio management, because the investment proposals, decision of investing in the stock market is taken by the mutual fund experts. So it reduces risk of the small investors. So advanced portfolio management services are provided as a one basic advantages. And dividend reinvestments. Suppose if the mutual fund holder, unit holder, or the small investor does not want the dividend, but he wants the dividend to grow in the market. So mutual fund agencies will take the decision of reinvesting that dividend in some other options. But if you are taking the stock market directly a share, when the dividend comes, you don't have any chance to reinvest the dividend in the same stock, because the stock market will not get back the dividends. Dividends are, once it is distributed to you, you have to take it compulsorily, and you have to reinvest in